All right.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, Mashudu. Good evening, everyone who is joining us today on another episode of Conversations with Coach Mashudu. And you will remember in our previous chat with Coach Mashudu, we talked about the program that is currently running under the title I Am the King of My Castle, the King of My Castle, which is a program which is aimed at sensitizing men, us men, to be aware of our emotions, to be able to confront our emotions and be able to face them so that we are able to deal with our emotions, to do away with the stereotype that man is strong, the man doesn't cry, so today we will be talking more in depth in the topic still, and we'll be talking about healing, and we're talking about energy healing. I don't know what's that, but we have Coach Mashudu who will be telling us what is healing, what is energy healing. Coach Mashudu, welcome.
Hi, Abongile. Thank you so much for the welcome. I'm so excited for this session once more, and it's so close to my heart. And to those who are joining us for the first time, welcome. And we had a lovely session last month where we were just talking about the I'm the King of the Castle. And we thought, let's continue with these discussions.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we had people say they want us to hear more why it's so important, and it's very important. And you'll hear as we are continuing throughout the discussion today. And once more, tell us where you are when you're coming through. Say hi so that we know we're not by ourselves. And if it's a replay, type as a replay as well. So we like to know. We are live on YouTube on Enabler Solutions and also on my page, and we'll also be live as well on Abongile. We're just fixing the technicalities.
Yes, yes. Okay, no, welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome on YouTube, if you're on YouTube or Instagram, Facebook. Welcome. And of course, engage us if you're loving the topic and if you're having any ideas coming up your mind. If there's anything you like, any suggestions, definitely drop us a comment. And we are here to talk about issues that are building us and, of course, problems that are really taking us back. We want to unlearn those patterns, those thought patterns, unlearn them and learn something new that is definitely going to help us empower and own and have control of who we are. And just a reminder, Coach Mashudu is a trained and accredited and experienced life coach, energy healer, relationship specialist. So definitely we are with someone who has the insights, the experience, and the expertise to guide us around these matters, these mental matters, emotional matters, to ensure that we become better people, we build better relationships. And speaking of relationships, Mashudu, I think we're going to dive right straight into the topic. Speaking
Yes.
about relationships, how important is healing in relation to relationships, and how having healed or not healed from your previous experiences, which may have been traumatic, how can that, maybe you, one person not having healed, how can it impact your relationships in general?
So, coming back to what healing is, so healing is very important, and healing comes in many ways, and it's always continuous, and you are forever healing if you have created the intention to heal. It's all about forgiving others, it's all about doing the right thing, it's all about saying yes when you mean it, and it's all about saying no when you say no. Because a time like in a relationship, because we want to impress the other person and we don't want to be ourselves, we just say yes even when we say no. It's about
Mm,
healing, it's about removing the mask, because healing it's not easy, but it's something that you can give to yourself. And it
mm,
also, if you're in a relationship and you're wounded, it's important that you start healing, because when you're wounded, you will, I know it sounds so crazy, you'll be vomiting your wound to some other people and you'll be blaming them. And the relationships are all about, for the one which is between two people, umjolo and all that, it's all about companionship. But we also have got another relationship with others. And it's important that and I've got an amazing program called the Transforming Relationships, which has got different steps of you helping you to transform. And one of the things of it is just you need to know who you are. Because when you go to a relationship you're unhealed, you're gonna have a lot of drama and conflict. And relationships are quite good because they show you where you need to heal, where you need to release, where you need to get better. So you might say, yes, I'm in this mess relationship. What can I say? What can I do? Yes, you can do something. You just have to acknowledge and create the intention. So with any healing, whether it's through a psychologist or therapist or anyone, you need to create the intention of to heal. Because even if you can just come to me and say, and then somebody forced you to come and see me as a coach, but if you didn't create that intention of say, I'm gonna work on myself, I'm gonna heal, it will be null and void. And normally when you meet someone, it's an energy exchange. So I could be having that energy exchange with someone who's willing to do the work. And we have to give ourselves permission to heal. We have to give ourselves permission to heal and be open to receive as well, and removing the judgment. So that is why I'm saying healing is a continuous thing, and it's all about removing the mask. But to have fruitful relationships, you have to create the intention and say, I'm ready to work on myself. So it's very important.
Yeah. What you are saying, Mashudu, reminds me of a story. It's actually in the book now. It's a conversation between Dr. Perry and Oprah Winfrey. The book is titled "What Happened to You," and there Oprah explains how she experienced the trauma as she was growing up, to such an extent that as she grew up, she became a people pleaser. I'm going back to the point that you just raised now, that be able to say no and be able to say yes if you have to. So people, because of their experiences, they become people pleasers. It means you get to do things that you are not willing to do, but simply because you want some sense of belonging. You want to belong, you want to be accommodated, you want to be accepted. You don't want to disappoint other people simply because of the traumas. As a result, you end up doing things that you would not do had you healed, had you not have experienced the trauma that you might have experienced.
So true. Like there's this new show on Zanzi Magic Channel 161 on Sundays about Forever Maybe, and then it plays at, I think it's 7 years, different couples who are going through coaching, and there's a life coach in that session. I think it's 4 couples, and one of the relationship which most people think is so difficult, one of the guy even he even broke down and said, yes, because of how I was raised, because of this, of my past trauma, that's why I act like this. And the lady was so happy to learn that it wasn't about her, that the guy is cheating, is doing all that. So all I just want to remind you, just listening to that story as well, is that when people act up, it's not about you. We tend to want to own, we want to parent, we want to be pleasers, we want to help like the people pleasers, because it means you learned it at a young age, in your formative age. Maybe it was your parent or your caregiver, and you had to always show them, to please them all the time. And to you, because our subconscious mind, our mind stores everything, it just makes it normal. But you might have made a vow and say, I'm not going to do this. But your mind always goes back to the comfort zone. That is why you need a coach. That is why you need to work on yourself, so that you start healing those things. And relationships us that, like, if they didn't go to that show, that guy, even today, I think their relationship will still be on and off, not being aware about the root cause. And the lady has been blaming herself about this guy cheating and all that. So the way we were brought, it always comes back and it always haunts us, but it's an opportunity to heal. And even myself, I would say, being a coach, I'm not perfect. I'm healing daily. I've learned to face my traumas. And then with what the guy said, most of them, it was how his father raised him and the inner wounds. And inner wounds always shows up in our relationship. And you might be someone who's really wealthy and performing, and you're always trying to outperform other people because you still see your whoever who told you you're not good enough. And you see that you're competing with people who are not in the league with to compete. So look into that and have that time with yourself. That is why healing, it's a continuous process. It's all about letting go and surrendering and say, I'm ready to be better, to be a better human being.
Yeah. And what I realize is that it's not always easy for one to actually realize that they have a wound that they need to heal. Because people own up to the way they behave. A person will say, "This is how I am. This is how I was born," not realizing that they are actually molded to be who they are by the experiences that they went through. By be it's good or bad, but the fact that you are who you are because you've been molded by the experiences that you went through. So how does one uh, is aware around the fact that, oh, how do I start and say, okay, this is a wound that I need to heal? How do I identify that problem, or do I see it being a problem to other people, or must it be a problem for myself in order for me to say, okay, this is a wound that I need to heal? Because I don't think it's always easy to just say, okay, I am broken and therefore I need to work on healing myself.
We always know when we are not okay because we've got our intuition and our higher self. So it's about
Okay.
saying, yes, now I'm gonna listen. And you sometimes you might dream and people might complain about you and say, this is what you're doing all the time. And when people give you feedback, feedback is very expensive. Not
Sure.
everyone will give you feedback and come and face you and tell you, no, we don't like this. And the moment, like, people have been giving you feedback, maybe they do it more than 3 times, the moment they start keeping quiet, know that you're in trouble. They've
Yeah.
really tried, now they don't know what to do. So people give you feedback, but even yourself, you do have that intuition. I grew up when I was told that that is how I was conditioned, that you cannot go and speak about your problems to a psychologist or a therapist because they'll give you medication or whatever. But now there are lovely coaches who are out there. That is why we
Yeah.
always show up and try to share their knowledge so that people can see, oh, this is what she was saying. Oh, this means I need help. And when you're ready to get help, help shows up in your timeline. And
Sure.
you see people, you even see pages, and you go like, how did Facebook, how did Instagram know that I want this? And it comes back to our topic of energy healing because we are energy. We are all energy. We are human beings who are more than the body. And we're always transmitting energy with everything surrounding us. We are one. It's only when you compare yourself with a tree, just the molecular structure. But a tree,
Sure.
if you go and hug it, you can feel the energy. And
Yeah.
that is, you feel that and you start seeing, you say, these people are reading, they maybe my girlfriend or my boyfriend sent them a message, but why am I getting this? And you see even in your WhatsApp, your friends start posting. So the universe is always talking to you. You just need to look at the signs. You need to look at the billboards. You're never alone, because people always say they are alone. We're never alone. We're supported.
Yeah.
It's the thoughts. So we vibrate. We are energy. So
I,
yeah.
I want exactly for us to go into that for the last few minutes that's remaining. You are an energy healer, and you talk about energy healing. Well, what is that? What is that? Because for me, I know healing to be a wound that just needs to heal. I can never attribute healing to some sort of an energy. What is energy healing?
So energy healing is quite broad because we are energy. We are beings who are emitting energy all the time. So I have the gift to tap into your energy when you allow me to, because we are energy. So, like if someone comes and consult me, I can feel their energy. Their energy could be that they've got an emotional wound, they've got a physical wound, or they've got money issues. And also, when they talk, we can feel it. And because with every experience that we go through, like even now, we're creating what we call neuropaths. We're creating this experience within our body. So every experience that we go through, whether it's painful or whether it's good, it gets stored in our body and we store that. And the bad one, because we have been conditioned, also you also see on TV, anything that's negative, it gets promoted. And the more you see it, the more we relive. Like if you have gone through a trauma, and based on the trauma that you felt, you might find that you have stored that fear or in your gut. And each time you are reminded of that, you are just reliving the fear. So with energy healing is to help you to remove those energy blockages, because we've got what we call chakras as well within our body. Those are our energy centers, and they come in different ways. And I'll just use the word, but we've got energy centers which centers out us, because we're not only the physical, we're mind, body, and spirit. And when you come to me, it's understanding where is your blockage? Is it in your money? And if it's in your mind, you find that your heart is blocked. So I always say, if you're a network marketer and you're not feeling good and your heart is aching, don't post. No matter how you can show how beautiful you are, now we'll read the energy. Because the energy doesn't lie. So you find that you have closed your heart, and money is related with your heart. So it's important that you open up. So it could be your mental, it could be you, because we normally harm ourselves with our thoughts. You could be thinking negative thoughts, and all these negative thoughts, whatever you think, you create. You find that if you look at last week, how you have been thinking, you've been thinking negative thoughts, so they're going to manifest. So whatever you think manifests. So it could be your mind as well, it could be your physical. So where we store our body, where we store our, so everything that we go through, we are energy. And because we're in the physical realm, you find that we absorb. And people that you encounter, we got what we call cords, etherical cords that we connect. And people have heard about, what is this, the telepathic. You go like, I'm thinking of someone, and that person just WhatsApp you. Because we are energy, because you can tap into that person because of how related you are. So it's to help you to balance your energies, which could be within your chakras, could be anywhere in your chakras, just for you to be able. And energy healing doesn't mean that your problems will go away. It's just for you to and remove that so that you're able to action. If it's a job you have been looking for, you come, we see where your blockage is, we help you. And it's done online, because energy, you don't have to be next to me. You just have to allow me pay for the session, then I'll be able to feel. Like I was coaching a client this morning, and she was just chatting, I'm telling her, your heart is blocked. And she's just laughing at me. And then as she's saying it, everything that she's saying, we're like, when I hear so much pain today. So you can feel their pain, and you help them to relieve it as well. Because all of us, we've got this powerful force, this ignite light. So for me, is to be to stand in the gap so that you can tap to that power that you have and heal yourself. Sometimes we don't know, because we are powerful beings, all of us. So much. And we find that we don't realize. So wherever you go, you are a powerful being. You've got that. And also with the sessions, that's something that I need to do this before the year end is to also have a course on chakra healing so that when someone has come through, they can still heal themselves because everyone can heal themselves. You just have to tap into that energy and heal yourself. So yeah, it could be anything. You could just feel procrastination and also the blockages because even our thoughts, people laugh when I say we bewitch ourselves with our thoughts. We do, and we blame everyone else.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
we do. So that is why one of the things that I say when I speak to people when we pray, dependence, ask for forgiveness from your creator so that you cleanse yourself from the karma that you're creating.
sure,
And
sure.
you also forgive those who have wronged you knowingly and unknowingly.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
you also ask for forgiveness to those who have wronged because daily we are harming other people without knowing because of our thoughts. So we are
yeah,
creating our reality. So that is why it's key that we always ask for forgiveness and we also
yeah,
forgive ourselves because we are our worst critics. We self sabotage ourselves. So it's to basically energy healing is to tap into, and there are different modalities. There are so
okay,
many energy healers, so everyone has got, and I use different modalities based on what energy I'm getting from you so that you feel better. And yeah, the testimonies are quite amazing, and it's
yeah,
good
yeah,
to be
yeah,
able to stand in the gap for people so that they can tap into their greatness. Because if you can't tap into your greatness and the power you have, you're robbing us of your gift.
mm,
You are robbing us of your gift that you should be sharing. So my ultimate goal being there for people is for them to tap into the power they have, the
yeah,
greatness that they have, so that they can share as soon as those blockages are removed, because we've got different layers within. That's another topic on its own. You
yeah,
will be
yeah,
able to be this king or this queen that you are, because you are a king, you're a queen wherever you are. Your surroundings and how you grew up, it doesn't define who you are. But the fact
yeah,
that you're still alive and breathing today, you need to celebrate that you're the king and the queen that you are.
sure. You know what you are saying, Mashuru, it reminds me, this old man, there's an old man I used to stay with here. I went to the same assembly with him. So he was sick and he was admitted at the hospital and he was supposed to be operated. Now, they've been giving him dates. And of course, when you are going to go for an operation, they tell you that you must not eat and you must not drink. So now, when the time for him to be operated would come, they would then postpone to say, no, it will be done the following day. So they did that about a few times, about 3 times. So on the fourth time, they did that as well, informing him that he will be operated at 9. And by 9, they went to him. And when they got to him, he was very angry already because they have been postponing. He was very, very angry. And they were ready by that time to operate him. And when they checked him, they checked his blood pressure and they found that it was very much high. And they were like, okay, unfortunately, because your blood pressure is very high, we will not go ahead with the operation. You know what he said? He said, okay, give me an hour, come and check me after an hour, and then check my blood pressure after an hour and see if you will not be able to go ahead with the procedure because I have been waiting for days. You guys have been postponing. So they were like, oh, okay. They left. These are doctors, these are professionals. They left, taking his word. He's an old man, he's very much frustrated. Then they came back after an hour and they checked his high blood pressure and he was fine. He was very much fine. He was leveled. Everything was as according as it was supposed to be. And now they were very much surprised to say, how did you know that after an hour you would have stabilized your sugar levels, your high blood pressure? How did you know? And he could simply tell them that, no, I understand. I know, I know how to operate, to regulate myself. I know how to regulate. So I'm referring to this story because what you are saying the minute you can understand that you are an energy, and the minute that you can own up to that energy and be able to use it for yourself, you will be able to regulate yourself, regulate your emotions as well.
Mm. And you might find that, yeah, as much as you can, you find that at times you can't do it for yourself. That's why the energy healer to stand in the gap so that you can wake
Sure,
up and then
sure.
you get better. So, yes.
Yeah,
And also, ourselves, we are powerful beings because we can heal ourselves. Normally, our ailments that we have, they're just showing us our emotional wounds that we haven't dealt with.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
someone might come and just feel maybe a pain in their tummy. You find that there's a lot of fear. And then when I feel that and I can feel that, I'm like, what are you fearing? And then the
yeah,
person
yeah,
starts talking and say, you see, whatever emotions are showing up in your body, it means now your body, because your body can handle certain emotions up to a certain level. So
sure.
we as human beings, we normally make ourselves sick and create what we call the disease, that is the disease. So
Mm,
that is why it's important you use different modalities. Go to a coach, work on your mind. Because healing, you have to look at a person holistically. You need to look at what they're eating, work on their mind, their conditioning, their values, and all. That is why I'm a transformation coach, because I've got therapies. As much as we can do the energy removal, we also need to take this person on a journey to understand why they've been making the decisions that they're doing. And some of it might find that it's karma that they have, and understanding how they brought that karma and what they can do to release it. So we can heal ourselves. So if you are going through that a lot, guys, speak to someone. Or if you're scared to speak to someone, just journal, release those, because you start creating what we call tumors within your body. And as well, you say, no, now I have to go and remove this tumor. As much as you have removed the tumor, the thing that is quite important as part of the therapy is to heal the mind. And you've heard people saying the tumor is back, this has been back, like that, because we are running away from sitting still and dealing with all this, because we are not used to go and cry. We're not used, and mostly when it comes to I'm the king of the castle, men have been told into Kali, Munna Halili, Munna Halili. And
yeah,
later, when you're in your 60s, you start having all these diseases, you start contracting all this. All it's saying to you is that we can't take it anymore. Go and deal with your crap at the end of the day. And there are people
mm,
who are trained to help you, because we're not meant to suffer. And we
sure.
create our own suffering because we don't want to let go. We let the ego control us. And we're not ready to surrender and say, I'm going to raise my hand and ask for help. And I'm someone who couldn't get help because I was scared. Being a firstborn, navigating life, you say, no one will help you, and you go. So it's something that I had to learn later when I was older and say, ask for help. And
Mm,
if I don't find it, go and ask someone else.
yes,
But
yes,
you find that it's something, because even not asking for help is a limiting belief, because it
yeah,
robs you of the help. Because as human beings, because we need to relate, we're never an island. We have to communicate with each other, we need to connect. But
yeah,
if you're sitting around by yourself, and also that is why I was reading something yesterday on friendships, on how important they are. And I realized I've got few friendships, and I realize I'm always in my head. And I learned that friendships, they make you last longer because you
yeah.
know you've got a belonging. There's a study which was done in Japan when an old man in his, I forgot what age, I think he was in his 80s,
Mm,
because and then he created a crime so that he can go to jail and have people surrounding him. So we need to connect with people.
mm,
So it's we are never an island. So we need to ask
yeah,
for help
yeah.
and be vulnerable enough to do that.
Wow. No, thank you so much. In respect of time, I would definitely love us to have a follow-up session on talking about energy and energy healing. I think it's a very vast topic, so that we can actually break it down for people that when you talk about energy, how do you access that? How you, as a coach, how do you help me? What kind of techniques are we looking at? And how do I get or how do I get a courage as a man to say, okay, I understand the concept of energy healing, or even of just getting someone who is going to help me out of the wound that I'm currently in, to transform me into being a healed being. How do I then take the next step of saying, okay, I want to get help. I want to get someone who is going to help me. So definitely, I really would like us to delve deep into this concept of energy healing, because I think for a few people or for many people who are not really acclimatized or who know around this topic of energy healing, it becomes a new thing. The concept of energy healing, because we always know that when you are sick, you get medicine. If of course is not the what is it, the other medicines is going to be our traditional herbs. You know that you always have to consume something in order to heal. So now the concept of saying I can just sit and be guided by a professional energy healer into healing myself. It's not a very popular concept amongst other people. So hence I say I definitely would love us to go into it. And of course, in closure, I would love for you to say your last words to everyone who's probably listening, wherever you are. You are on YouTube, you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, and of course, drop your comments there and tell us what you think on this topic of energy healing. What do you know about energy healing? Do you know of the concept, and what do you know? Have you partaken in the healing process of this energy healing? So your last words, please, Coach Mashudu.
So just to end is, you might have heard us, and normally when you need the healing, your higher self will tell you, and it will also direct you to someone that you need to go to help you. That is the power you have. And I do offer the sessions, and they're normally an hour session, so you can book, you can WhatsApp me on 061-518-3208. So do that. But as well, listen to your intuition. Your intuition will guide you, not your husband, not your girlfriend, but your higher self, because you are a being. As much as you've got people around you, you are always 100% in your body. And this might resonate to you, and you might say, what happens in a session? Yes, I'll understand where your blockage is mentally, physically, emotionally, or your relationship or money. And when you're being healed, you might yawn, you might feel tired. After the session, you just want to sleep, because we are healing that energy, and you go like, that session is like I went to gym, because it just shows how much blockages you have and the power that is within you. So you could book those sessions. And also in terms of the King of the Castle, guys, I'm having the last session for the year. It's on the 23rd of November. And it's normally between 6 to 8. So it's 2 hours for the guys. So do join us. And we are talking about being alive and grounded. And you need that. Yeah. And also other recordings for the previous sessions are available. But you need to do something about it. We need kings, because as I said, you're a king wherever you are. You might not be aware of it, but guys, you are amazing. I know it sounds so crazy. People think like when I tell them you are this queen, it's something that even when I learned, it's so hard to comprehend. But I just want to assure you, you're a king and queen wherever you are. That is why even your fingerprints are a bit different from mine. They're not the same, because you're unique. You've got a bigger purpose. And allow the healing, because all of us, even now we're going through trauma of electricity, and I now understand Joburg is water. So that, imagine that pile up. If you're not healing yourself, you're just gonna fight with everyone. You won't even appreciate your kids. Maybe I can just add something before we finish. I know.
Yeah.
So with my wounds, I learned that you go to work, you have kids, and the kids, as long as you give them food and you pay school fees, that's fine. Until I had an awakening of learning to speak to my kids, I couldn't. It's something that I didn't. I know people say, yeah, better parent nowadays, yeah, present. It took an awakening to heal, to present, because even my mom was, as much as we stayed in their house, we never had the communication. She was never there. So to me, it was normal. So whatever you see when you're growing up, it's just normal. Until I learned that one of our helpers was abusing the kids and coming to abuse. This week, it's about bullying week. So do hang out in my timeline. I'll be exploring more on bullying, the impacts of bullying also in relationships. So the person was bullying, and then after that, I had to change. I had to start reading books. How do you communicate to kids? What do you do when you meet them, when you pick them up at school? What do you ask them? And all that, those conversations. So it's also healing and transforming. So healing doesn't have to be with energy healing. It's just you healing the way you think. It's all about you healing what you think is true and finding out what and discovering what is really actually true at the end of the day.
Yeah. So. Wow. No, thank you. Thank you so much, Coach Mashudu. We really appreciate your insight and sharing that with us. And definitely, everyone, wherever you're listening or watching from, reach out to Coach Mashudu for more advice and even for consultations and attending her sessions on this program. I'm the King of My Castle. Definitely helpful and a great initiative by her. Thank you so much, Mashudu. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in. Remember to share in your timelines. You might find that there's someone in your timeline who need to hear this. They just need to hear, and you'll be just surprised, and they'll come to you a year later and say, thank you for sharing this in my timeline. I needed to see it. So do that. You're not doing it for yourself.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you.